Cloud Kingdom is our third map. The last map in this best of 3 to the top right once more. Starting for TSL. So red town player it is.
TSL Port.
Looking calm in there despite losing the last game. His opponent in the blue for LGIM. He is
LGIM MVP.
And what an exciting series. We are in game number 3. Only one of these players will advance in the winners rounds.
I miss Street Fighter voice.
I actually really like this voice a lot.
But I miss Street Fighter voice.
I don't miss him.
Nah, I think Street Fighter
If
voice
I ever
was
miss
cool.
him, I can just go back and watch the VODs.
No, I think this is cool for the map intros, but still, for the players, I still feel it was more energetic. There was more drive behind it.
I don't know. This one just feels more epic to me. It's like more serious. By the way, MVP.
I'm actually a little bit surprised by that to hear that. I would actually be interested what the people out there think about it.
Yeah. Well, we have a very serious opening from MVP. He's going for Command Center first here.
Yep. Yeah, indeed he does. So he skips the barracks at first and then uses the excess minerals in order to get the command center a little bit earlier. Well, Pole does not have gas, but he has the normal transition from one barracks and will probably then start with the expansion.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, definitely. If you compare this to the Street Fighter voice that we usually have in the studio, I would be really interested if actually more people are with Wolf here and think that the new voice is cool for the players and not only for the map. You can send us a tweet at Caldo and at ProxyWolf if you want. And yeah, we'll definitely browse through those later. The command center for Pole is once again on the high ground, by the way, so he's playing this rather safe, while we have now MVP going for 1 gas immediately, even before Pole gets his refinery.
Yeah, Pole is, well, the late refinery here, he was probably going to go double, but he hasn't done it yet, and if he doesn't do it soon, then he may actually go for a fast 3rd command to do something super greedy. It's starting to look possibly that way. Okay, there it is. Double gas going down for him. Just waiting a little bit longer, getting as much minerals as possible before doing so.
And he did once again not scout, or did he?
No, he did not.
No scouting information for Pole, so he has no idea what exactly is going on. He didn't see the timing for MVP space. He will most likely never find out that there was a command center first.
Yeah, he'll never know that, and that's something that's really unfortunate because he thinks, oh, well, I double gassed here. I'm going to catch up fairly soon. I'm getting my 2nd barracks, doing the same build on Hana. But no, MVP has already got his factory up and his command center. He has both tech and expansion and a scout. MVP actually going to be able to get to the ramp. Pult not having his Marines on the low ground, but he's not going to see anything. He sees there's no command center on the low ground, which is pretty important, but it's not as useful as seeing the command center itself.
He doesn't have enough information indeed, and he knows, well, basically only about the 2nd barracks that is building right now. That's something that he can identify, but that's all there's to it. MVP, on the other hand, now done with his factory, switching it over with the barracks immediately. He has his expansion, the starport is also building, and he's just preparing it once again. Without he actually took the 2nd gas, so he will have enough gas to also get Cloak if he wants to.
Yeah, and I think he may, if he wants to. It's going to be pretty expensive, but I wouldn't put it past him. He's a little bit in the dark about what Pult is doing, though, so it's kind of a risk. And the positioning of the barracks here indicates he wants to.
And he goes straight for the tech lab, so we will see a Banshee at the least, and with the double refinery, Cloak would be, of course, also a very good choice here. The scanner reveals basically everything for MVP, a pretty cool scan. He doesn't know about the expansion, but that's something that he has to assume here. Whereas we now have, of course, Paul with the knowledge that there's not only the starport, but also the barracks right next, to the right side of the main base, and he will assume that the Banshee is going his way.
Yeah, it is going to be Cloak, by the way, as you guys can see on the production tab. Cloak coming out first before the Banshee. And the Hellions are going to deny the command center, at least briefly here.
They're blocking the spot, but then immediately moving back. Actually, it would be rather funny if you could crush units with buildings.
Yeah, I think it would be too strong, though. But it would be awesome.
Oh, it would be pretty imbalanced, because the only thing that you have to do is build a couple of barracks and then fly to your opponent's main base and crush the mineral line. But it would be funny.
It would be funny. Very aggressive here by MVP with the split from Bold. He's got to be very careful, but if he doesn't lose any of the Hellions, then this is going to be well worth it, because he can always repair those. Really cool aggression. Not common to see this at all, and this means that when the Banshee comes back in later, he's going to be able to kill these Marines so much faster. And he's not done yet. He pulls the weakened Hellion to the back, does some extra damage here.
That's really well done, and that's actually pretty cool. But the thing is, we also have a Viking on the map, so the Viking will be the biggest problem for the Banshee, of course. And there they come in. Pole uses one of the siege tanks immediately to throw the Hellions.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Get out of my base right now.
And here we go, Banshee coming in. He does have scan energy available, but he cannot use these Marines like this. They're too weak. He may scan. No, he doesn't feel comfortable. Now he does. Stim.
And he's not killing
it.
Great opening here for MVP. That was really well done. It's not only that he had to use the scan, but he lost SCVs. He lost also a few Marines. Great. Really good job.
And he comes back. Doesn't even decloak. He's going to continue to use that energy you've used initially. Trying to target down a siege tank now. Not sure how much I like that, but it is damaged. And Polt not going to scan. He actually knows the energy must be nearly done and does not pursue, though. First Banshee gets away. Second one is probably going to die because he may scan this time. And he does.
Yeah, he scans indeed. Tries to escape, but it's a little bit too late. The Banshee dies. One scan has been sacrificed.
Very aggressive opening with the cloak by MVP, and of course he's going into mech here. We hadn't talked about it, but you guys see he's built now 4 factories. He's going to go, looks like, double reactor Hellions with double siege tank production as well.
And of course he gets the Raven too. And with the Raven and the point defense drone that he can use later on, also the auto turret, depending on what kind of situation he's going to face. Very important here. Well, Pole is moving out again. So he currently looks at a army supply of 38 versus 45. He tries to do some damage now. And we remember game number 1 where he hit the perfect timing and did so much damage with his units. And we still don't have any kind of siege mode for MVP. But MVP is able to get in with the Hellions, and this is definitely a huge problem now.
Yeah, he pulls a lot of the SCVs from the natural. Really nicely done. A tank will come and deter him. But like you said, this push is really strong. This is basically the same type of push we saw in Entomb Valley. He doesn't have as many units, but he's hitting a similar type of timing where MVP has mostly Hellions. MVP does not have siege mode, not even started yet. He's going to lose a tech lab on his starport. And now the Marines are being lifted into the main. He's also going to be able to take out one of these reactors. MVP is coming in, but he's got to be careful of the siege fire on the low ground.
There is not a lot that he can do. He needs to move into the siege tank range, and this is just horrible for him. Of course, he was able to deal a fair amount of damage to his opponent's economy line. 10 additional harvesters killed, which puts Polt a little bit behind. But he's killing so much tech and also the production buildings of his opponent now.
Yeah, he has no way of killing these siege tanks without his own siege mode. He still hasn't started it yet. And the Vikings are just so annoying. There's no way to deal with them. Not a single Marine on the map. And Polt, yeah, he's going to lose his Marines on the high ground, some of the ones on the low ground, but he's trading so cost efficiently here.
This trade is awesome for him. These siege tanks doing so much damage. That was great for Polt. He was a little bit startled when he saw those Hellions move in when he was at the bottom right, but then he decided to not fall back and save his economy line because he knew he had to do damage now. He just couldn't afford to go back, so he went for the attack, waited until his siege tank was out in the main base, defended against the Hellions, and now he killed a fair amount of units of his opponent. We currently have, if we look at the resources lost step, 1,600 lost for Polt and 3,600 for his opponent.
Yeah. And
wave number 2 coming in.
Yeah, I mean, he's got wave number 2, but now MVP is getting his siege mode. He's got a lot of tanks still out on the map. Polt has a third base. He's actually just going to set up a soft contain. If he actually really tries to attack further than he can, this is one way that MVP can catch up here. But if he just does as he is now, sits on the outside of the base,
as long as there's no siege mode, he is fine.
And even when siege mode is done, as long as he doesn't overextend himself, he's going to be okay. Going to take out one siege tank here. Now, I love this. This is actually totally fine. As long as there's no tank siege up, pick off a tank, run back, fall back to your siege tanks. Meanwhile, on the map, those Hellions for MVP are still out, but the wall is set up for Polt. He's got units rallied at home. He's going to be totally fine at defending here.
The siege mode is not done for MVP, but it's really hard for him to get into a good position, especially with the Vikings now granting the vision to Polt's siege tanks. He has the air superiority, and now moving in with everything he has from every angle possible. MVP tries to break through here.
And he will break out, but at what cost? That is the question. Several more siege tanks coming down. He's losing a lot of SCVs as well.
And another tank. Just doesn't die, but here comes the flank from Polt. He moves in, takes down SCVs, and Siege Tank doing so much damage. Way ahead in supply right now, even able to take out the tanks on the high ground, and suddenly there's just nothing left for MVP to defend except for the tanks on the high ground, and they are out of range.
Yep, and I feel like Polt has really designed this build, this push. He didn't even know that MVP was meching. He just went for this timing attack. He bent based on assumptions a little bit here, but this is something we talked about a lot during this series, is that when you know your opponent's style, when he plays a little bit predictably, you can get ahead as a result, and this is what Polt has done here. He's now taking out the SCVs, more and more Hellions coming down, but the firepower is not enough. Even the tanks in tank mode are doing so much damage here. The Marauders come in, he takes out the last Siege Tank on the high ground, the Hellions are falling, MVP drops below 50 supply, and I think he's out of luck here. Polt is going to take this series.
Polt is on 3 bases against 1 mining. The Orbital is going down. GG.